Destiny 2 sure is in a state right now, huh? Who would have thought that if all your competitors in the genre died on release, would lead you into being really complacent with how your game runs, and you just get a little bit of thirst for milking some money? You would just leave all of your players upset and sad that the game is not what it used to be. Oh, you've heard the story before? And just like our forefathers from 2 years ago, I decided to pick up Final Fantasy XIV. But before I get into it, I should probably just look up a guide or something to figure sorry, wrong website. So after 5,000 hours, I'm trading in my Guardian of the Light for a Warrior of the Light, who isn't even a warrior. She's a mage, a black mage. Listen, I didn't know how bad I was going to be. Now, this is my first MMO experience. Outside of like a little bit of RuneScape when I was a kid, I was super intimidated going in. Like, what are all the things on my screen? How am I going to learn all these abilities? What am I going to do? But the game taught me at a rate that was easy to understand. I got one ability at a time. Look, I do the fire spell until I run out of mana, and then use the ice spell. It's like easy. If I was ever lost to what to do, there's a little guide in the top left telling you what the next main story quest is, which is a lot better than what I can say for Destiny. A new player in Destiny has like a very short tutorial mission, and then it just throws you in a room full of quests. No indication of which one's more important to do than the rest, and having to buy all of your abilities from a vendor. So you don't know which ones are good, you don't know what goes with what, and you have no chance to learn them. You just buy and hope. I'm not going to touch too much on the story details because I know how protective the Final Fantasy XIV community is of spoilers, and I don't want to be fed to King Mugelmug, but I did have a really fun time. I did skip a lot of the cutscenes, but during that final hour or so of the game where you're forced to watch all those cutscenes, it made me regret everything, and I did go back and watch a couple of catch-up videos to bring me up to speed. Having actually interesting characters that are on your side, not just having interesting villains, is so nice. 80 to 90% of the characters are decently written, and or at least feel like they're contributing, and you know, enough for me to see what's going to happen next to them. Whereas if we go back over to the tower real quick, you don't get a single campaign to play through. You get the first couple of missions of every campaign, but not enough to play them all through. And one of the only well-written characters on your side was killed like 5 years ago. I don't feel bad about spoiling that because there's no way for you to play that mission anymore. That whole campaign where he dies got removed. Pretty early on, you get introduced into the PvP area of Final Fantasy XIV. Bungie did teach me one good thing, and that was just like to avoid PvP at all costs. After my first stream playing the game, I immediately wanted to buy the DLCs, and it was actually pretty easy. It was just one purchase of $17.50, and I got all the remaining DLCs that didn't come as part of the free trial. But if we look at the Destiny Steam DLC page, there are 13 items listed, and if you don't know which ones to buy, this can be very confusing. You only have to buy 3 of these, which is the Legacy Collection, the Armory Collection, and then Lightfall. In total, that adds up to £155 for all of Destiny's content still in the game, which hasn't been taken away. To demonstrate my point about loot in between both of these games, we're gonna play a fun little game, so I hope you're ready. Now, which one of these 2 staffs is a reward for killing King Mugelmug in Final Fantasy XIV? Yep, it's the one with the King Mugelmug bonnet. Now, these 2 sparrows both came out at the same time as Scourge of the Past raid. One of them drops from this raid encounter. Yep, it is that one, and that one is the fastest one in the game. Here is just a regular common quality sparrow, which I've changed the color of. This one was from the microtransaction store, and also that raid isn't in the game anymore. In 2018, Spire of Stars came out, and the luxurious toast emote was one of the raid rewards you could get, which is a nod back to the first raid boss of Destiny 2, Callus, where you assume his same stance. Now that's pretty cool, right? Considering these 2 raids take place in the same location. In 2021, Vault of Glass came back into Destiny 2 as Destiny's first free raid after going free to play, and they had this Atheon's Throne emote, which is pretty similar. You sit in this big glass chair, similar to how the back of Atheon's room looks. This is heavily tied to this raid, but it doesn't drop from the raid. It just costs 13 quid. I wish I was joking. They added this whole store page into the main menus just so you can spend your money easier, which includes Fortnite and Assassin's Creed themed armor sets, which look really cool. But here is the latest raid armor. You can see where the money went. If I ever want to buy something from the Final Fantasy XIV microtransaction store, I can't do it within the game. I would have to go over to their website and buy it in a completely separate place. And all of the stuff within the microtransaction store feels like it was additional and not taken away from the main game, just like that Atheon emote. Feels like it should have been part of the game and not paid extra. As I said, I've just about got done with A Realm Reborn, but I haven't got to Heaven's Wood just yet because I got a bit distracted. The Gold Saucer is an area within Final Fantasy that is just filled with mini games where you earn tickets and you can use those tickets to buy random novelty cosmetics, which are very important, and I really need this outfit. But having a place that's dedicated to novelty cosmetics like this, it shows that Square is also dedicated to doing stuff for casual players that just want to chill with their friends. And for the competitive chocobo races. Back in Destiny 1, we did have Sparrow Racing, an event which was only around for a couple of weeks, which had maps made just to race on mounts. It's something that people have wanted back for years and years and years. I even made a video with my friends when we made our own courses. But there is no room for novelty things like this in Destiny. I would love to add in a section here about raids and endgame, but I've just not done any of that inside of Final Fantasy. I've got lots to say about Destiny's side of that. So maybe we can do a part 2 where I talk about that stuff once I've done it. So like and subscribe if you want to see it. I feel like I can sum up my thoughts just like this. When I load up Destiny and I see my ship floating in orbit, I can hover over every destination, every activity, every raid, and none of it seems enticing. Like, the only buttons I want to press are Alt F4. But when I load up Final Fantasy, there are so many things for me to do, and all of them are exciting and fresh. I can spend some time leveling up. I can get some new gear. I can go into dungeons to learn my rotations better and become better at the game. I could try and find a party to raid with. I could level up a new class without starting a whole new character and all the friction that would come with having to do all the quests again. There's the Gold Saucer for fun. There's a variety of fun things for me to do for whatever mood I'm feeling. Obviously, my 9 years in Destiny, I've done everything that Destiny has to offer multiple times over, and only like 3 weeks into Final Fantasy, obviously I've got a lot more new things to experience, but I still feel there's so many barriers stopping people from playing Destiny that Final Fantasy just doesn't have. Obviously there's the difference in game genres, but there's still live service loot games, and one of them I feel like respects my time a lot more.